Welcome back. We're at NAB 2026. We're here at OWC. We're super excited to be talking to Larry, the CEO of OWC, and he's going to tell us about the new product, the 4M2, the Express 4M2 Ultra.
Yes, the Ultra. It is the first and only Thunderbolt 5 certified 4-blade NVMe M.2 DIY. So this bad boy lets you put up to 4 of your own M.2s inside. So say speeds of over 6,000 megs a second. Ships, you can get it from $399, and then it's $549 with software. But ultimately, if you want to do your own DIY M.2 array, there is nothing like this in the world. It's the first 80 gigabit multi M.2 solution for DIY, and it is the first and only. I think I said it before. I'm going to be redundant because we're pretty excited about it. A lot of engineering went into this, but it's the first and only Thunderbolt 5 certified solution of its kind in the world.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're really excited about it. We just got done finishing our documentary, which is called This Is Not a Draft, and it's about veterans who signed up to serve after 9/11. Our whole thing, if you're watching, you know. But we edited the whole project. It was an 8 terabyte project through DaVinci Resolve. We edited it on the 4M2, the prior generation, and we had experiences where we were editing off of HDDs, and poor experience. Really poor experience. It works if that's what you have to do. It can work, but sure. With these, wow. Yeah. And that was just the 4M2. Now I can't wait to see the speeds on the Ultra and see how everything's working. 8K workflows, right?
100%.
Easily working on 8K workflow, folks. Like, come on, that's awesome.
And we are cognizant of what's going. Well, we're in the middle of what's going on with solid-state drives and crazy things with cost. And certainly want to remind with things like the Thunderbolt 8, which use 8 drives. Hard drive spinning drives, and give you performance sustained data rates that are 1,500 to 1,700 megs a second.
That's pretty good.
With RAID, and that we're talking, I mean, that's with RAID 5. So yeah, these are also solutions for a lot of workflows that are very, very relevant. Flash a year ago, I mean, you could throw Flash at everything. If it's getting to a price point where, it's why not? I mean, it's always going to be fast. I never have to worry about it not being fast enough. Today, I do acknowledge we need to look at our workflows and where we need the speed so that we're a little more cognizant, thinking a little bit more about where we need to spend for the flash and where drives are just fine, so we can, on those same or similar budgets, we can still get the job done and get it done well and not hit those roadblocks.
Absolutely. We love the RAIDs, and we love editing off of our flash, and then we love storing on our spinning disks. And that just makes the solution totally work. With an 8 terabyte project, you're opening things up. With Thunderbolt, the 4M2 was Thunderbolt 3 or 4? Thunderbolt.
Well, the original Express, of course, was Thunderbolt 3, and then we have it,
3.
The USB 4 friend of it. Is that the guy right over there?
Yeah, Express 1M2 80 gig.
The 40 gig. Yeah,
that's 40 gig. Okay.
Maybe not. You have the original. You have our original Express.
I have the original Express. Yeah.
Then this is this
I'm
is
gonna feel it.
Yeah. This is smaller. From a heat dissipation point of view, the fans almost never come on. If the fans do come on, I know the original Thunderbolt 3 Express 4M2 was a little noisy.
It didn't bother me in my bay.
Perfect.
But if you're on set, I get it. Yeah.
It's one of the things that we certainly, it was one of the feedbacks. Noise. Some people didn't like the lights on it. The lights are that blue light you can see you can turn that off. The actual activity lights, which are really important. I mean, you need to know your project is rolling, and that something else isn't hung up somewhere. Those lights, they're in the back now. They are very subdued, so they're not going to distract you or bother you. They're actually kind of cool. They're kind of you might even see them as relaxing when the project's rolling. But the noise, they never get loud. So if it didn't bother you, this absolutely won't bother you because it's silent unless the fans have to come on. The fans come on only if if the drives you're using need a little extra cooling. We don't control what drives go in, so it's got a smart fan. Yeah. But even there, because of the design and cooling and the design of just passive heat dissipation, it's very rare that they should have to come on. I should say it is a fan. And if it does come on, it's extremely quiet. The design of the enclosure ensures that the airflow doesn't make a lot of noise. The fan is an ultra-quiet fan. Even at full blast, this doesn't approach the noise that the other fan, that the previous product. We listened to our customers.
That's the feedback.
Speed was very important. Size was important. And for a good chunk of folks, the noise was the one thing that they could pick on. So let's take away. Let's see what the next plan of hope is. Something. Well, we need something faster. We need more blade. We need something for our workflow that's not to do with a criticism of the. We want to be criticized by that. We want your feedback. Your feedback is what makes them better. But the feedback we love the most is where this is maxed out for every solution it can possibly do. And now what's next? We can solve your next problem.
Yeah, I've got two of them side by side, the old version, and love it. Absolutely do. I just moved into a new studio, and I'm moving all the things over. It's about like 50 foot, and of course, I dropped one. The old one, it's an aluminum enclosure, right? And guys, I was freaked out because this is like my documentary film project on there. I was like, oh no. Started it back up, no issues. Loved it. So aluminum enclosure worked really well on that last one. I'm excited to see how it's working on the new one.
Everything we build, I mean, we didn't put rugged in our name, but everything we build, I mean, we've been building rugged products, I mean, pretty much since the get-go.
Yeah.
You go back a few years, our elites actually, and we didn't ask for this. It was like, okay, that was an interesting test. I'm glad it worked out, but a production company, they actually landed a helicopter on 4 of our drives. They put them in 4 corners and they landed their helicopter on the drives. That's how tough these things are.
That's so cool. That's a great ad.
But I gotta tell you one other thing about, if you have that drop, let's just say something that actually, the drives are pretty well protected. The odds of the drives being damaged from a drop, very, very low. But if the bridge got broken, if something physically broke that actually stopped the function of this, the drives, there's nothing proprietary in any of our solutions that prevent you from taking those drives out, putting them into another OWC solution, even depending upon the third party. If they don't have the proprietary stuff in between. As long as you can see the drive, you're going to be able to mount it, and your data's fine. I mean, we really put a focus on we put a focus away from making it hard to get your data if it's not using the exact same product. We want you to have the best accessibility in all cases, in all situations, but these are corner case situations. But if it happens to you, you've got to be able to get your data, and we do not stand in the way of that.
That's awesome. So real quick question then. They're shipping July, June?
They'll be shipping next month.
Next month.
Just around the corner.
Very cool. Okay.
So they're available on OWC.com right now for pre-order.
Yeah.
And those that order early, we'll see them.
We'll receive them.
Other folks. Mass availability, broad availability will be late June, early July. But these will begin shipping to folks that would like them sooner. They're going to have to order them and have them a lot sooner than that.
Okay, so then as someone who's upgrading, can I in theory then just take my 4 drives out of the 4M2, the Express 4M2, and put it into the 4M2 Ultra?
100%, yes.
Wow. Okay, so that's really convenient because, guys, I was thinking, like, am I going to have to offload an 8 terabyte project, or am I able to just bring it into the new enclosure, get the benefits of that high speed? So that's going to be super exciting.
Swap it over, life is good. And I have to, the disclaimer's always there. You should back it up because...
Always have a backup.
If you drop that M.2 by itself...
Well, that's why I have 2 of them.
Right.
Because they're mirrored.
Then then perfect. Then you're already set.
Yeah.
Move a set. And honestly, they'll still stay mirrored. Even if when you move into the new enclosure, they'll actually still stay mirrored with soft RAID. Using soft RAID, I assume?
I'm using Apple's RAID.
Apple's, okay, probably okay.
Maybe okay. Use the solutions provided by the professionals, all right?
Well, there's nothing wrong with Apple RAID other than it doesn't tell you about drive failures. It doesn't give you drive failure warnings or free failure warnings. You're kind of in the dark. Soft RAID is a little more robust, both in its advisory that, hey, there is a drive you need to worry about, and giving you lots of advance notice and maintaining RAIDs across solutions. But it's okay. I'm not going to...
Maybe I'll switch over when I transition to the new enclosures then, because that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, you can get RAID 5 and RAID 4. I mean, instead of the RAID 0. You're doing 0+, you can do 0+1. Do it that way. But, something I'd also point out, even on our hard drive, I mean, you have a Thunderbolt 2 Thunderbay. You can just pull your hard drives out, stick it in the new solution. We brought the original Thunderbay, one of its problem solves were for people moving from the Mac Pro towers, those silver 2009 to 2006 to 2010 units that wanted to continue using those spinning drives they already had their stuff on, but on a new Thunderbolt system. And it was just pull it out of your Mac Pro, put it in our device, and you're up.
That's awesome.
Especially the soft RAID. But in really any situation, we try to make it easy. We don't lock you out of our ecosystem, and we're not doing things to lock you into our ecosystem. It's 38 years now. Our goal has been to earn your trust with the products that work, not get you in and then, kind of force you to stay in. I mean, we always, test us always, push us always. We're always here to make things better and to make sure that our product is that boring part of your workflow that you don't have to think about because it just works.
Yeah. I cannot remember the name of the product, but I have something that looks just like this, but has CF Express on the front. Is there a refresh coming of that to Thunderbolt 5? I can only hope. We'll only hope, folks.
Let's just say yes.
At some point.
There is, that's a Thunderbolt Pro dock, and yes, there will be a Thunderbolt 5 version. This, of course, is the dual 10G dock that's sitting right here. This has two 10G ports, and actually
awesome.
Jason did actually contributed a lot to that product.
Yeah.
And it's got a 2.5 gigabit on the front, some other useful ports, downstream Thunderbolt. We do have a Pro dock that will a refresh of the Pro dock for Thunderbolt 5. So
that would be really cool. Yeah, I'm so excited. I was buying the other day, and I was like, I'm building up a new setup, and I'm like, I'd love to have Thunderbolt 5. I've got a Thunderbolt 5 workflow, but I really need CF Express because as a filmmaker, we shoot on Sony, and we need to have that. So we love your guys' CF Express cards. We use those in our cameras, and they're so fast. When we switch, guys, when I switch from SD cards to CF Express, offload times when I'm doing DIT totally went down. So we love your guys' products. We are always on board. I'm a fanboy. That's what it is.
Well, I really appreciate your feedback and support. I mean, that's why we're here. And for what it's worth, this Thunderbolt 5 stuff, it's a much bigger lift on the engineering. There's
I believe it.
A lot that goes into bringing something out and getting it certified. There's see a lot of stuff out there that makes a lot of promises. And on top of that, even if you get certified, the manufacturing
still a range,
quality,
probably, right?
Yeah, the attention to detail in terms of what you put into the actual mass production is important. And these are things that we take for granted at OWC because for us, there's only one way to do it. But without going into a whole lot of details, there is plenty of product out there that may get certified, but what's certified is not equivalent to what they then put in the manufacturing. And not because of any bad intention, it's just there's a lot you have to really be on top of.
Sure.
And these products are engineered for mass production. They're engineered, to a very high quality standard. These are engineers that motion picture, folks that are doing work that it can't fail,
correct.
Can count on it. And it makes it great for folks that are using it for other everyday stuff. I mean, this is for everybody, up to the top and everybody in between to, even just basic backup because it just works.
Yeah, I worked on a film a couple of years ago with a studio with Fox, and they were the first thing that they did for post-production order. The first order they placed through production, I was a production coordinator for that, and they were like, we need our jellyfish, and we need all of the drives. I was like, all right, let's go. We're doing it right, guys. So yeah, we love the products.
Well, when you know OWC, that's going to get it done for you. And that's
for sure.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much, guys. This has been OWC. We're excited. We'll be doing a video, another video, not on the show floor, about the 4M2 Ultra. We're really excited to bring it in and start testing it. So stay tuned, and we'll see you at the next booth.
Fantastic. Onward upwards.
Thanks so much, Larry.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks.
Appreciate it. All right. Take care.
Push that pedal to the floor, ain't got no time to slow down. Call me giddy, I want more, I need the